A pharmacy is not really a retail store. It is a business built around necessity, and that makes its math extremely powerful. Because when people stop spending on restaurants, clothes, and entertainment, they do not stop needing medication. That creates a type of demand most businesses can only dream of. In 2026, the US pharmacy market is a $600 billion industry, and 70% of Americans take at least one prescription drug. We are going to break down the per-prescription economics, the front-end retail model that quietly drives margin, the PBM trap that is crushing independent stores, and the consolidation endgame now deciding who survives the next decade. The per-prescription math, where the dollar actually goes. The most misunderstood number in pharmacy is the gross margin on a single prescription. The average script for a 30-day supply of a common generic drug has a retail price of $20 to $40, but 90% of prescriptions in the US are paid through insurance, not cash. The pharmacy does not set the price. The pharmacy gets a reimbursement set by a pharmacy benefit manager, or PBM. Brand name drug, wholesale cost $480. Reimbursement from PBM, $495. Dispensing fee, $1.50. Gross profit per brand script, $16.50. Generic drug, wholesale cost $4. Reimbursement from PBM, $9. Dispensing fee, $1.50. Gross profit per generic script, $6.50. The average independent pharmacy fills 200 to 300 prescriptions per day. At an average gross profit of $10 per script, that is $2,000 to $3,000 in daily gross profit, or $730,000 to $1.1 million annually. After covering pharmacist salaries, rent, tech staff, software, insurance, and utilities, the average independent pharmacy nets 3% to 5% on revenue. The front-end retail math, where the real margin lives. The prescription counter breaks even. The front of the store is where the pharmacy actually makes money. Prescription drugs carry a 22% gross margin. Over-the-counter medications, 40%. Vitamins and supplements, 50%. Cosmetics and skincare, 55%. Snacks and beverages, 35%. Greeting cards and gift items, 60%. The front end is where the real margin lives. A customer picking up a $10 prescription also buys a $12 vitamin, an $8 greeting card, and a $4 bottle of water. The pharmacy makes $2.20 on the prescription, but $9.80 on the front-end items. The prescription is the traffic driver. The front end is the profit. Independent pharmacies in 800-square-foot spaces with no front end cannot capture this margin. They are pure prescription dispensaries, and their gross profit per script has to cover all overhead, which is why their net margin is often 2% or less. The chain pharmacy across the street with 10,000 square feet of retail floor wins on basket economics even at the same script volume. The PBM trap, the hidden hand squeezing the industry. 3 companies, CVS Caremark, Express Scripts, and Optum Rx, control roughly 80% of all prescription reimbursements in the United States. They sit between the insurance company, the employer, and the pharmacy, and they set the reimbursement rate. A PBM collects a $500 reimbursement from the insurer for a brand drug, pays the pharmacy $495, and keeps $5 as an administrative spread. Multiply that $5 across 4 billion prescriptions a year, and you understand why PBMs are among the most profitable companies in healthcare. PBMs have started reimbursing independent pharmacies below their actual drug acquisition cost on certain generics. A pharmacy buys a generic for $12. The PBM reimburses $9. The pharmacy loses $3 per script. This is called spread pricing, and it is legal in most states. PBMs also audit pharmacies for dispensing errors. A single error can trigger a clawback of 6 months of reimbursements on that drug. A $50 audit finding can cost a pharmacy $25,000 in clawbacks. This is called below-cost reimbursement. Independent pharmacies have closed at a rate of roughly 1 per day in the US since 2020. The PBM structure is the primary cause. The largest PBM, CVS Caremark, is owned by CVS Health, which also owns CVS Pharmacies. CVS, the PBM, sets the reimbursement that CVS, the pharmacy, receives. Independent pharmacies have argued for 20 years that this is a structural conflict. The courts have started to agree, but the structure remains intact. The recurring patient. Why this business is recession-proof. Roughly 60% of Americans live with at least one chronic condition: diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, asthma, depression. Each of these patients fills a prescription every 30 to 90 days forever. A diabetes patient on metformin, lisinopril, and atorvastatin fills 36 prescriptions per year, every year. until they die. A pharmacy with 3,000 active patients, each filling 12 prescriptions annually, has 36,000 guaranteed scripts per year. At $10 gross profit per script, that is $360,000 in baseline gross profit before any new customers walk in. Compare this to a restaurant. A restaurant has to win the customer back every single day. The pharmacy wins the customer once when the doctor writes the prescription and gets paid every month for the next 30 years. In the 2008 financial crisis, retail sales fell 8%. Pharmacy sales grew 3%. In the 2020 pandemic, restaurant revenue fell 25%. Pharmacy revenue grew 6%. People cut vacations, jewelry, and clothing before they cut blood pressure medication. The pharmacy is one of the few retail categories where demand is non-discretionary. A comparable restaurant sells for 2 to 3 times EBITDA. A comparable restaurant sells for 2 to 3 times EBITDA. The market pays a premium for businesses that survive every storm. The specialty pharmacy endgame, where the money actually flows. The next chapter of pharmacy is not in the $4 generic. It is in the $15,000 specialty drug. Specialty drugs treat cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, HIV, and rare genetic conditions. A single month of a biologic for rheumatoid arthritis costs $4,000 to $7,000. A CAR-T cancer therapy costs $400,000 per treatment. A specialty pharmacy keeps roughly 3% to 6% of the drug cost as gross profit. On a $5,000 monthly prescription, that is $150 to $300 per script, compared to $6.50 on a generic cholesterol drug. A specialty pharmacy may only have 1,000 patients, but each generates $2,000 to $4,000 in annual gross profit. A traditional pharmacy needs 20,000 patients to match that. CVS Specialty, Walgreens Specialty, and Optum Specialty now handle the highest margin prescriptions in the country. Independent pharmacies are structurally locked out because they cannot meet the accreditation, cold chain, and patient management requirements. The prescription drug market is bifurcating. Cheap generics are becoming a loss leader, with PBMs squeezing pharmacies to break even or below. Specialty drugs are becoming the entire profit pool, accessible only to the largest players. The independent pharmacy in the middle is being slowly suffocated. The verdict: who wins the next decade? Independent pharmacies in regulated PBM markets are the biggest losers. They fill the same prescriptions every month for shrinking margins, with no path into specialty and no capital to build a front end. Regional chains are next. Rite Aid declared bankruptcy in 2023, and smaller chains are being absorbed by CVS and Walgreens. The mid-tier cannot match the PBM leverage of the giants or the personal service of the independents. The winners, CVS, Walgreens, and the PBM-aligned pharmacies, they own the PBM, the specialty pharmacy, the retail footprint, and the insurer relationship. Vertical integration makes them nearly impossible to dislodge. Mail-order pharmacy is also winning. Amazon Pharmacy, Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drugs, and PBM-owned mail operations fill 30,000 scripts a day with one pharmacist overseeing robots. The labor cost per script drops to 30 cents. The retail pharmacy model is being disintermediated the same way bookstores were. The independent pharmacies that survive are the ones that pivot to services the chains cannot offer. Compounding, hormone replacement therapy, veterinary compounding, long-term care facility contracts. The end game is concentration. The middle collapses, the top scales, the bottom survives by being too specialized to crush. A pharmacy is the rarest thing in business, a store that sells something people cannot choose to stop buying. That demand makes it resilient in every recession, every pandemic, every disruption. But the math has shifted. The pill is no longer the profit. The pill is the bait. The profit is in the front-end basket, the specialty drug, and the PBM relationship. If this breakdown helped you see the numbers behind the counter, let me know in the comments. And if you want to see the math behind other recession-proof industries, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more to uncover.